primarily helps you document or put down in paper how a business creates, delivers, and captures value. So are you interested in knowing more about business model canvas?
Sure.
Sure,
One,
sir.
sure. Two. Who else?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yes, we are interested.
Fantastic. So thank you for taking time out. All right. Now, business model canvas was something which was proposed by a platform called Strategizer. Okay. This is a very simple visual layout of how a business is organized. The business model can be defined or into 9 different sections. All right. If you look at what you see here on the screen right now, on the right hand side is the customer facing part of the business. On the left hand side is the business facing part of the business. All right. So when we look at the customer facing part of the business, the section 1, it is the customer segments. Who are the customers whom we are servicing? Section 2, it is in the middle, which is the value proposition that we as a business are providing to our customer as well as to our other stakeholders. Section 3 is the channels through whom we are servicing the customer. Section 4 are the relationships that we have with the customer. And section 5, which comes at the bottom, is the revenue streams. How do we make money from the customer? When we go to the left hand side, 6 is the key resources that we need to deliver the value to the customer. 7 is the key activities that we need to deliver this value, promised value to the customer. 8 is who are our partners, who will help us deliver this value to our customer. And 9, which again is at the bottom, are the cost structures. What are the different costs that we need to bear to deliver this value to the customer? So if I would look at it in another fashion, there are only 2 things in the entire business. One is the customer. The second is what is the value that we are delivering to the customer. And our entire business revolves around how to deliver this value to the customer. So if this opens up something for you, please write in the chat box value or value proposition, whatever you want. All right, just 2 values so far. Okay, so while you're making up your mind, let me move to the next piece. This first section is the customer segment. Okay, so it is very, very important. The more precise we are, so we are not in the 20th century, we are in the 21st century. We cannot have an ambiguous kind of a thing. The more precise we are in our communication, in all what we do, better are the results we get. So the questions to answer are, for whom are we creating value? Who are our most important customers, clients, or users? The next question is, are they another business? In the sense, are these B2B, business to business transactions, or are these other people, or are these other consumers? So, or are these B2C, business to consumer kind of relationships? It's very important that we answer this. And we may have multiple segments whom we are servicing. Okay. The customer segments include mass market, niche market, wherein we're doing something for, let us say, a dentist. Okay, a dentist is only dealing with dental problems, nothing else. Next, we may be in certain businesses which can be segmented based on gender, age, or income, etc. So let us say if we are into garments, so garments are very gender specific. If we are into products which are for infants or for toddlers, those are very age specific. All right. Next is diversify. In the sense, different needs and characteristics. It may so happen that the same product is used for different applications, especially with bulk drugs or bulk chemicals. That could be a product which goes into different industries. That would go into cement, it could go into steel, it could go into petroleum and all different pieces. And the utility is different. It may also be possible to price it differently for different industries. And our customer segments could also be multi-sided platforms or markets like Amazon or Flipkart and the likes. Right? The next most important piece is what is the value that the business is creating. Our businesses exist for the customer. And what we deliver to the customer is the value proposition. So we're talking about the value proposition over here. So the questions to ask is, what value do we deliver to our customer? What problems are we helping to solve for the customer? What job are we doing for the customer, or are we helping the customer to do or fulfill? What customer needs are we satisfying? What bundles of products and services are we offering to each customer segment? Now, some of the value propositions could be novelty, newness, performance. My product, my service helps you increase your performance. There could be customization, right? Then getting a job done. The customer looks at us because there is a job to be done. A person is looking at a car because he wants to travel from point A to point B. So the job is transit. Now, this job can be fulfilled by a cab where he can hire the car for the hour, or he can choose to buy the car, or he can choose to become a part of a carpool, wherein he is neither hiring it nor he is buying the car. But the job is being delivered in a certain fashion, being done in a certain fashion. Then there could be a design which could be a value proposition. There are cars which are aerodynamic, which help you reduce your fuel consumption, which help you gain better mileage, which help you drive at a faster pace. And then in certain cases, the status or brand. A large number of people who buy iPhones or Apple products, they buy it for status value rather than for the actual utility value. Price could be, Maruti says, kitna deti hai. So for them, price is a value proposition. They are price leaders when it comes to the product. Cost reduction, the total cost of ownership could come down. That could be a value proposition of your product or service. Risk reduction. Insurance is all about risk reduction, right? Especially medical insurance. You don't want to come under the bus just because you're not healthy enough. Accessibility, convenience, usability. There could be many more value propositions that we can provide to the customer. But just look at what is the value that our product or service is providing. So these are the benefits which the customer looks at. Now, value proposition. So this is a separate topic. So maybe next week I will be speaking about the value proposition canvas. But just for the moment, let me just run you through this. Let us look at it from the customer perspective. The customer is buying a certain product or service for three reasons. One, to take away the pain that the customer has. Second is to get some gain, some benefits. And third is there is a certain job that the customer wants to get done. These are the three reasons why the customer is considering your product or service. So for us as a business, we need to look at these three perspectives and answer all of them. So to address the pains, we have to give the pain relievers. To address the gains that the customer is looking at, we have the gain creators. And to do the job that the customer wants to get done, we have the products and services. So the value proposition in toto is a combination of the product or service that we're giving, the gains that we address, the pains that we relieve. This is the value proposition. Next week, we will be talking about this in depth. All right. Next is the channels. How, through what channels are we going to deliver this value? How do we reach out to our customers? How are our channels integrated? Are they integrated or are they working in isolation? Which channel works best? For certain product categories, let us say Instagram is the best. For others, LinkedIn works best. For others, one-to-one conversation is the best. So which channel works the best? Which one is the most cost effective? Yeah, so Sakshi, we will talk about gain creators in the next session next week. All right. And I'll definitely address that then. All right. So an organization can reach its clients through direct to customer, through online marketplaces, distribution networks, retail network, partner network or the solution partners, value added partners, or a combination of all these. All right. Till a couple of years back, we did not have the platform. So Amazon did not exist, or Netflix did not exist. But still, the product or the service was being delivered. The cinema halls used to deliver entertainment to the people, right? Before that, the Nautanki Walas would deliver entertainment to the people, right? Or the theater used to do that. So like this, there are certain channels which deliver that service. Let us go to the fourth one. What are the customer relationships we have? The question here is, what type of relationships are expected? Which ones have we established? How costly are they? How are they integrated with the rest of our business model? And three critical steps over here are how the business will get new customers. how the business will keep the existing customers and ensure that they keep on buying from us, how the business will grow its revenue from the current customers. Again, the same, how will they keep on buying from us? Now, various kind of relationships are transactional relationships. A person wants to have a cup of tea, he'll come, he'll pay, he'll get the tea and move on. Long-term relationships, if we are into solutions, or if we are suppliers of products, so how do we keep on supplying on a longer term? Okay. Personal assistance. Very often, if my mobile phone, or let us say connectivity, is not working, I'll pick up the phone and call up Airtel. So they have personal assistance for me. And then there is dedicated personal assistance. If you are an MX customer, American Express, they have the concept of concierge services. You can call up the person and then they would organize those services for you. They would book your hotels for you. They will book your yachts for you. They'll book the cabs for you. Dedicated personal assistance. Then there could be self-service. Today, invariably, you go to even Airtel. They will take you through different spaces. If you are our new customer, then dial 1. If you are an old customer, 2. If you are our broadband customer, dial 3, whatsoever. So they take you through a self-service kind of a thing, wherein a lot of your queries get solved on their own. You don't even need to speak to a person on the other side. There are automated services. You can simply go to the net, click certain tabs, and your job is done. Then there could be communities which could be created, which can help you. So Harley motorcycles, they've got these Harley groups, right? Or that way, even Enfield, and then even Dusters, they've got GOD, Gang of Dusters. So these are communities which help you remain connected to the brand. And then the next level of maturity is co-creation, wherein the customer is working with the company to create the next generation of the product. And then let us come to the revenue streams. For what value are our customers really willing to pay us? How much would they pay? How much does each revenue stream contribute to the overall revenue? Several ways to generate revenue are asset sale. So if I'm creating a business, it's especially when we look at the startups, this is the model on which they are working. They create enough value in the startup, and then that company gets sold. Flipkart got sold to Walmart. So that was an asset sale. All right. Usage fee. So when we look at the highways today, so every time you come to a toll plaza and you are paying, that is the usage fee for using the road. Subscription fees. So we're on Netflix. We pay the subscription fees to keep on viewing those content online. Lending, leasing, renting. So there are these construction equipment which is available in a lending model very often, or leasing model. Then it is licensing. So Starbucks is in India today, and Tatas are the license holders. So they are the ones who are, rather not really the license holders, they are the franchisees who are running the Starbucks business in India. Then there are brokerage fees. I help you with something and I am entitled for a certain brokerage in it, especially for real estate. I help you buy a new place, whether it is commercial or residential, and I would get a percentage of the deal value. Then there is advertising. All right. You go to Google search, there are advertisement slots. Because the traffic is so high, people are willing to pay for those advertising slots. And there can be many more new ways of creating revenue. So before we go to the left hand side of the business model canvas. I would like to hear from you. What is it that you got so far? Any questions that you have, and then we go further. You may unmute yourself and ask the question. Hello.
Yeah. In fact, Atulji, value is always in the eye of the beholder. The way
Yes.
we always look at it,
Yeah.
whether we are, of course, you talked about how to fuel the value machine all the time.
Yeah.
That's what you always try to do. In fact, the industry in which I operate, which is the software industry, I always look at these aspects and practically, I really attend these programs because they're acting as a teaser to cross train my brain. That's the way, that's what the way I look at it really. So uh, you know, you of course talked about a lot of things in the last 40 minutes in terms of how we can redefine our go-to-market strategy. The way I look at it, in terms of customer segmentation, in terms of value proposition. I mean, the way you said that for pain and gain, you have to provide a value chain. So that's what you said. Very interesting, and I always think about my context, how to really improve on these aspects. That is important. And last but not the least, you of course talked about revenue stream. I really connect with this, having worked in some good companies like SAP and so on and so forth. I know licensing is very, very important. Licensing is something which is customer pays for your innovation capability. SAP, you go to SAP, Oracles, and Microsofts of this world. Why people pay licensing fee? Because they are paying for the innovation fee. And that's why SAP, being a company of, say, 1 lakh people, is earning more revenue than a company like TCS, which is having 6 people. The challenge is the innovation capability. The more you are, more innovative you are, your productivity of the people will go up, isn't
Absolutely.
it? That's always we segment that. That's why we in the software industry we see a lot of companies which are product companies, and there are certain companies which are service companies. Service companies always think about margin per resource. That's the model. Whatever they will say, they will come and say. Ultimately, that's the model.
Yeah.
I have 6 lakh people. How much margin I'm making per guy? Finished. And in the product industry, it's much more. It's much more because people are much more, what I can say, innovative. And also, you will see one thing. Even you look at the salary level in a product company which is more innovative, the salary level is much more than what you're having in a service company. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Because innovation is the most important thing, which in your all these slides, I know these, I have seen this thing in 2011-12 as well. We need to bring these aspects of innovation. We have to bring the aspects of entrepreneurship, which is very, very important. Not entrepreneurship is okay, entrepreneurship as well. How you just talked about co-creation with customers. I say co-innovation with the customers. How we can co-innovate with my customers. That's extremely important for us. And I always tell the same thing to my anchor customers in Europe. How we can co-innovate. Have only one project to co-innovate. You
Absolutely.
think about it, we will do it. We will continuously enrich the process, and thereby you will make money, and I will also make money accordingly.
100%.
Anyway, these are the thoughts which I had, and good to really fuel the value machine all the time. That you need to do. Otherwise, your business model you cannot sustain. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. I get to grow every time I have such conversations. That is why I said it says the if you what was it? If Muhammad can't go to the mountain comes to Muhammad, right?
No, it's all about, I say, it's all about cross pollination of ideas.
Yes.
Unless we do this cross pollination, the process cannot be enriching. That's the way we should look forward. Anyway, over to you.
So
Sorry.
that is the idea of creating these conversations so that we're able to at least initiate these thoughts. All right. Taking and fructification, that is up to the person. My job is to initiate it. All right. Anybody else would like to
The
add to
trigger
this?
point. The trigger point.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry.
One trigger can start a world war, and one trigger can also start a new world. All right, so let's move on. So we've looked at the right-hand side of the business model canvas so far. Let's go to the left-hand side. The left-hand side, number 6 is key resources. What key resources do our value propositions require? What are our distribution channels? What are our customer relationships and what are our revenue streams? Right? So types of resources can be physical. Physical in the sense the infrastructure, the buildings, the factories, the distribution, warehouses, all that. Then there is intellectual property. So this is what you were talking about, Mr. Mukherjee. The ability to innovate, your innovation labs, right? And then the third piece is the human resources. Human resources, you can't just pick up. Sorry, I think something went wrong and it got off. So coming to the key resources, what are the key resources that we need to deliver the value proposition? What are our distribution channels, customer relationships, revenue streams? So we spoke about the physical infrastructure, which can be the buildings, the factories, the warehouses, and the likes. The intellectual property, the human resources. We need technical skills. We need human beings who can deliver it. We need human beings who can lead the teams, all that piece. And then the financial muscle. So man, money, machine, method, and material. These are the 5 resources which they generally talk about. Yes, absolutely. The right set of people is very important.
Of course,
And
people always makes the difference. Of
yes,
course.
in fact,
But she talked about satisfied customer. I say you have to go beyond satisfaction, delight.
absolutely, customer delight is the
I
new
always
mantra.
define that quality means P by E, performance by your product or your service divided by the expectation of the customer. If P by
Absolutely,
E is equal to 1, you are a satisfied customer. But your aim should be to make P by E more than 1. So the customer is delighted.
absolutely.
There lies the value of your service excellence. Anyway.
And today we are in times where expectation is growing every day.
Absolutely. That is the beauty of digital.
So
Design.
satisfaction is the zero of yesterday.
Absolutely. Look at Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Now they are saying I will deliver your product in 3 days, but if you become an Amazon Prime member, I will give it in 1 day, in few
absolutely.
hours. Somebody
Yes,
is saying I will few hours. That's all our expectation is absolutely growing day by day.
100%. And then what are the key activities that we need to do to deliver the customer value? So what activities do our value propositions require? Our distribution channel, customer relationship, revenue streams. So types of activities are production, problem solving, platform, network, all those. And what are our key partnerships? Right? Who are our key partners? Who are our key suppliers? Which key resources are we acquiring from our partners? Which key activities do partners perform for us? And type of key partnerships, optimization and economy of scale, reduction of risk and uncertainty. acquisition of particular resources and activities. All right. So we are not working in isolation. We are working in an environment wherein there are a lot of partnerships which are required and expected. And then we come to the ninth block, which are the cost structures. What are the most important costs inherent in our business model? Which key resources are the most expensive? Which key activities are the most expensive? Types of cost structures are cost driven or value driven. All right. And then cost structure attributes are economies of scale. If we increase the scale, is the cost coming down? Economies of scope. That means, can I use the same supply chain for multiple products? Let us talk about organizations like Procter and Gamble. They use the same supply chain, same set of sales managers for a large variety of products. So that is how they are able to create economy of scope. Then fixed costs. How can we contain the fixed cost? What about the variable costs? Now, this is something which is Mr. Ahuja's forte, and he would be laughing from ear to ear. ये क्या बातें कर रहा है? ये तो मैं बचपन से करता आ रहा हूँ, है ना आहूजा साहब? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Ahuja ji, give us some more insights on the cost structures of a business. So Ahuja ji is a dear friend of mine. He is a fellow chartered accountant, has been working with brands like Network 18. And definitely he's a master in this piece. Ahuja ji, are you going to speak?
We can't hear him. I think he's speaking.
He's trying to speak. No worries. But nonetheless, at the broader level, we need to look at all these aspects.